just a little background information. I wrote my, hello Savvy, hello other person I don't know, but thank you for coming. I'm about to perform, take a seat. So, yeah, a little just background. I wrote like my last poem in like May 2020, and then throughout the whole of COVID, I just did not write poetry until last year, I think, November. And I felt like the first poem I had to write had to be a poem analyzing why I haven't been writing. So this is that. More than a year has eclipsed since my lips are pressed upon pages to go onto stages. Why I lost my vision? Hindsight is 2021. The pandemic hit with a dichotomy of rhetorics, from look what this famous artist made during the plague to hey, it's okay not to be productive when life is unprecedented. While Taylor was a little too swift to make me feel like shit on my birthday, I did not find the time to create folklore evermore, nor a muse in the monotony. How many issues of daddy issues can you issue till you realize you'll always need tissues? Or to continue to write about anxiety means having to face your reflection on the screen that you can't manage to change your life, which makes you want to scream. With nothing new to say, I became a reluctant recluse. As we checked in and out of places, I chickened out of checking in and out of my head spaces. This, the same little girl who would hold on to memories with a fervent grip when others would let their bodies forget. Resolved to feel like a fraud of a host. Hope her clam up would at least result in a pearl at a slam up. There's only so much trauma from my father that I can pump out of myself in my fodder till I stop milking it. I think I stopped because of the guilt of it. The thrill of an incident, a lick up the spill to stick with my skilled voice shrill. It tastes sweet because my revenge would be serving your mess back to you on a platter with sophisticated garnish and small portions as expensive as therapy. I rule that the 5-second rule is fuel for a 5-star dish. Pick it up and you pick yourself up. You hit me, and my world swirls with poetry. Not necessarily healthy, but I've got good at it. A blessing and curse for my perfectionists. My phone no longer the one safe place I could retreat in peace. An extension of myself to escape the need to dictate details, so I left the draft in my mouth. Bastard, thanks to the bastard, it's lasted till now. This is why I stopped writing. This is how I begin again. Felt I could not till I investigated the region I stopped. This is my reintroduction, a high touch by hiatus. It was time to dust my heart, reacquaint it with rusted joints, trusting I'm never too far apart to forget how to make art now. Fresh experiences sow the seeds of organic inspirations, grow the fruits of my labor, no longer hanging low, nothing forbidden, still the sweetest sticks to you like the juice run down your wrists. Our flesh, one and the same. I have started living again with something to show for it. Thank you.
There's still a minute time for me, because I'm afraid that I will be dropping out of anything that's on tonight again. So I wrote an English poem actually, and this is in English, and you understand it. And I wrote it on the train here because a couple of days I had a dream that 2 random alien strangers would meet in the universe and talk about something, and I was like, what? So let's see where this goes. So now it begins. This is what I wrote. Somewhere in the universe, 2 friends meet who were long dispersed. How's Earth? Which Earth? The one you last saw. Oh, well, let's say it had 1 or 2 flaws. So you've been there and you didn't like it? It's a bit difficult how to describe it. Most places were dirty, full of people and cars, buildings, pollution, 2 out of 5 stars. Really? You didn't enjoy even bits of its beauty? Nah, I was too busy, you know our duty. But what about nature, the forests and seas? Wherever I went, I couldn't find peace. Whatever I said, taking time for my work, sooner or later, a humanoid jerk popped up and disclaimed this place as his own in the name of some crown band state or a throne. And under the tree started sounds of cutting, hammering, tinkering, paving, constructing. Finding the entrance of so-called engines, there was no defense against this vengeance. Sounds of motors, machines, exploitation. Nature was facing kind of annihilation. They called it creation in the name of a nation, but in fact it was exponential devastation. And I tell you, they left nothing untouched. Their constructions were crushing whatever they clutched. Finally, they waged war and destruction over sustainability and reproduction. But what about nature? And what about climate? There was kind of contract, but they didn't sign it. And I have to say that at a certain point, I was too late. I had it already coined. But didn't they also at least believe in something like peace, understanding, relief? Yes, they had some times up to a pact, only disconnected from every fact. It appeared to stay vague and too abstract. Even to themselves, they didn't show no respect. They didn't show any respect. So hope was so little, despair so large. I had to do something as I was in charge. And did you do as you were in control? Yes, I unrolled the scroll of the Earth Protocol. As soon as the planet was contaminated, I ended it. Switch! And it was terminated. Okay, I see, you did it nice and clean, but what about the time machine? Yeah, I thought time paradoxes should be avoided, so I went and destroyed it. But hush, I tell you a secret. I pushed reset after I had it deleted. How great, so you're making a stance by giving the planet another chance, but what will you do if it all stays the same? Egocentrism is hard to tame, so this time I try and tell him on stage, people, it is time to engage for Earth to save. We have only one, so try and behave. Change for the better, no matter if Hanover, Sydney, or Parramatta.
So this is called You Don't Look Philo. Okay. I've betrayed myself before, having described my face as comprised of generic Asian features, to try and appease my confused white acquaintances, whom are all shining knights in my Lola's eyes. I should stick to the shade, swallow my vitamin D, for the tone of my skin needs to be right, so pale. If I'm honest, I have goldfish lips and matching protruding eyes. I see men wave with eager shouts of ni hao, and I always reply with my equally eager middle finger. I was never good at tennis. I hated to even try, but I had a favorite move, the backhand. Like the compliment I tend to receive, you're pretty for an Asian, which they follow through with, you must be a halfie, since I'm too tall to be what I claim to be. What my family likes to call me is daba. In my infanthood, it was oinky, but I prefer the English description of full of cheek, or sometimes I resign myself to slightly chubby. There's no one to blame with a stomach as ferocious as mine, and Filipino food full of sugar, an adult's daily intake and a child's fruit drink paired with something fried and sweet spaghetti. But I will admit there's never enough for the feral den in my chest, which doctors like to feed antidepressants. Thank you.
And we are actually now going to have our first online poet. I'd like to invite Michael Collins to the virtual screen stage.
Oh, hi. What a great
Can
night.
everyone in the room hear him?
Thank you. Okay, is this coming through all right? I'm never sure.
Yep, awesome.
Beautiful. Okay, it's called And the People. Okay. And the people raised their voices and cried, "We have despoiled our planet." They entreated the Creator to make right all that was wrong. Oh God, help us. We need you. The world needs you. And God was, for a nanosecond, tempted to take their prayers seriously. Until, that is, he looked inside their hearts and read their minds, for he was God and could do all that kind of thing. And God saw the lust for new TV sets produced by a technology that not even he understood. The desire for the latest U-Butte cars and ride-on mowers, and a whole bunch of other consumer goods that the Supreme Being considered a total waste of space. As well, too, he saw the quest for great mountains of money, which was definitely a bit of a laugh to God, as he had never before allowed anyone to take it with them. And he was not about to start doing that now. And more still, the problem at hand was the ecological future of the earth. And even if hypocrisy and insincerity was endemic, their pleas were pretty much to the point accurate. He really had to act. So God thought and rethought, considered and reconsidered. Finally, he decided he would start again. And he did. But as heaven is so far away and light, though traveling quite quickly, is still a finite entity, the great event is still a ways off. Thank God. P.S. Note how God in his mercy chose to stick by the laws of physics. Good of him, considering he didn't really have to. Thank you.
Okay, and so I also didn't notice there was a theme, but it kind of could be in, but anyway. All right, so it's called Skylines. I wonder what of sunlight do architects consider when introducing skyscrapers so much taller than before? Did they realize how much more pleasant my afternoon walk would be? It's as though they built a doorway to close off only part of my horizon, especially at sunset. The clouds, sometimes the silver lining, become pastel Monets in the sky for a while. I meander past the playground, under the bridge many pigeons call home, and I ponder the beginnings of the Powerhouse Museum and how someday it will be full. Sentimentally, perhaps, but to whom? Then the river runs along the theatre, a school, the stadium on one end, and a ferry station and the gum trees on the other. Often is busy with runners, wanderers, cyclists, and trams. Until, of course, those new lights appear, that of bedrooms, living rooms, kitchens, and staircases, populating the city's starless sky. Yet even when the path is empty, still the river runs. I wonder if architects, engineers, developers, builders, crane drivers, those that installed the glass, or now clean the glass, do they ever wonder about the bats or the birds as they took up Parental's real estate of the sky? And I'm undecided about these grand history murals on the path underfoot. Is it poignant, or is it something we too easily pass by? I wonder how much they wondered, and how much we asked, still ask. Not when or how much, but ask, why change the sky? Thank you.
Hello. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Wait, thank you. So I've never done this piece before, so you're all guinea pigs. Thank you. Just a trigger warning, it does touch on mental health themes, so please keep yourself safe if you need to. Depression, anxiety, stress. Depression, anxiety, stress. Depression, anxiety, stress. Depression, anxiety, stress. Mental health care in this country, let's be honest, it's a mess. Doc, I know I'm here for a DAS test, but your black and white carelessness, your sugar-coated ignorance, do you really think that's best? Why is the gatekeeper responsible for my mental health hurting it so much? What right do they have to stand between me and my psyche? How is it right that the person who doesn't understand stands between me and the person that might? How can they hold my life in their hands and stop me from saving mine? It doesn't matter what the trigger, the problem's only getting bigger. So they look at the stats with rigor, generic stats, solutions that make us sicker. And I think your assigned risk factors are by the book, but no two people's experiences are the same if you look. Because it's not like there's an index for mental health, just a list of terms, a glossary, gloss over me and make one stick. Then push me out the door, still sick. See, I'm an 8%er. One of the people who have a mental illness with 2 or more disorders. PTSD, MDD, social anxiety, the glossary terms, they stick to me, now part of me, yet leaving me walking around, armed, my triggers like those of a loaded gun, when pulled, create an inner silent explosion. The result? A rush of blood to my wounded mind as my soul splits open and my emotions shatter. But I confront my demons head on, because I have to, because I have no choice. Because even those who don't stand by me or even near me, just look the other way, walk away, and all I can do is say, don't abandon those you love in their time of need. Don't leave them in silence. For silence screams contempt, contempt breeds complacence, complacence creates indifference, and the ones you love, they're just left screaming, silently, broken and alone. So find your empathy and compassion, even when they don't care, can't care for them with all that you are. Don't show them the door, show them you're more. Stand behind the talk you talk and do not walk. Thank you.
No, I haven't done this in ages. So I felt like I wanted to write a poem because it's, you know, the first slam we've had in a while. And I just wrote this today, so it's not the best.
New shit!
Yeah, new shit. It's just some thoughts that I had after a particularly difficult week.
This week?
It wasn't this week, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
When it was raining.
Coincidentally, yes.
We love that we must clarify that.
Okay. Home should feel safe. But all those words have in common for me is that they are 4 letters and end in the letter E.
Yeah.
This place is filled with his tyranny, trapping trepidation between every joint in my body. I don't know whether I prefer it when he shouts his decrees or declares them quietly. Don't stay up past 9 or I'll lock the gate. You stupid girl. This is all your mum's fault. Home should feel safe. The running mantra in my head, keep the peace, keep the peace, keep the peace, keep the peace. But there are landmines scattered all over the brick and red carpet of this place. All I hear is tick, tick, tick. The only stability we have that there are landmines and that they will go off. The worst is the unpredictability of when. Will it be when I open the glass door and look out for him? When I tread on the old brick floor and look out for him? When I creep across the hallway and look out for him? When I step on the red stairs and look out for him? When I rush upstairs to the kitchen and scramble to collect food before he may appear? Will it be the dining table taking the lighter beatings from his hands during a family meeting again this time? Home should feel safe. Some days I hear my sister's voice upstairs. My head rushes, tick, lungs fill, tick, heart tightens, tick. The only thought, oh no, what's happened now? Tick, tick, tick. I follow the same path to get upstairs, only to find the sound is her laughing, not shrieking or crying this time. And I thought to myself, how awful that those were my instant fears at hearing her voice from upstairs. Home should feel safe. So I wait. Keep the peace, tick, tick, tick. Keep the peace, tick, tick, tick. Keep the peace, tick, tick, tick.
because I know all the pieces will fall into place eventually for me to build my home with you, where home and safe are synonymous, and they are more than just 4 letters ending with the letter E. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to call a Natalie?
No,
Natalie?
it's
Natalia?
Just, it's Natalie. Hey everyone, I'm beaming in from Finland, but I'm actually Australian. And I am from the west side, but from West Australia, from Perth. But anyway, I've been living here for about 6 years, and I heard about you guys through your place in New Zealand, actually, Paul, there as moderator, who I'd met in Adelaide when I came to visit a few years ago as well. So, and I came to see Alasdair perform today as well, who I saw a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago on your place too. So anyway, this is a love letter to the man who tied my dreams to his feet like a shadow he wanted to play with. To the man who made sure the boom of his voice overpowered the whistle of the train I missed, I thank you. To the man who elbowed me out of the way to be the first in line with ideas that were mine and take credit in the limelight, I thank you. To the man who growled warnings at me like an old street dog, hardly disguising disgust as I too peed on the pole, I thank you. To the man who took offence to ideas not meant to undermine, following the paranoid line, playing the blame game, silently shaming, constructing a silo effect as a way of punishing me, I thank you. To the man who disguised his inner wolf with a charismatic style, all the while playing with his balls, hoping I'd go down the path less travelled, I thank you. From you, I learned the big bad world starts right at my feet. From you, I learned that trust and empathy are my own worst enemy. I see the strain of your lips cracked with bitterness. I watch you snarl, twitch with an unconscious itch. I met you before, you know, in another story, at another time, puppet master. Lost boy to my Peter Pan, greedy wolf to Red Riding Hood with your element of surprise. It struck me unexpectedly as I tripped to the ground, looking round, thinking I dealt with it all. And that's what makes this ruthless grief. This is what makes this hostile thief, the misexpectation, the discombobulation, watching the train depart as I'm left at the station. And that line in between, that modesty draws between the victim and the enabler, between the suffering and exposure, between the professionalism and a two-bit whore. For my thickened skin encrusts on the surface with every cut, the scab coagulates, scar tissue envelops the trail, and my memory fades.
I'm lost. I keep rewatching old videos of myself, wondering when I'm going to come back. I've been gone for a while, you see. I'm stuck somewhere between the past and future. And so the present keeps passing by fast, and I feel as though I've gone a bit mad, eating my emotions and watching my screen as though it is an escape from my reality that I can't be bothered to change because I haven't figured out how, what, when, where, why. And yes, allows the excuse I have to keep spinning round and round, falling, sinking deeper and deeper into the hole we call our brains that are never tame, so I hold myself accountable. As pretending I'm not lost is a lie that most of us put up as a frame to paint the perfect picture that will lead us to our graves, wondering why we lie when everyone around feels the exact same way. And the truth is, most people prefer to see a broken frame so that they can relate instead of seeing the perfect picture that makes them want to shake with the fear that they're not enough, for not feeling okay, for not feeling like they're living a life in their own happy place, a lie that was told and sold years ago to keep the cash flow afloat and make the economy grow, as nothing will be enough for the man who only seeks gold. And the perfect frame will always break no matter how many repaints it has to undertake, so no need to judge, as my frame is quite delicate. And for now I am lost. But I know I will be found, as I've heard that only the very best people in the world were lost before they were found. So as I ponder in the hole that keeps me churning up and down, round and round, I see myself one day, watching myself in a place where I am in the here and now. Thank you.
Okay, well, I would like to invite onto the stage the one and only Alasdair. I would just say that I think you are the most perfect person to be our feature, our first time back. I would say you have the most infectious energy, but I feel like that's the wrong word choice in this context, but I think that's how I'll describe you. Thank you very much.
Little trigger warning for toxic masculinity. A gorilla, a buck, and a tiger walk into a bar. No, sorry, a politician, a captain, and a CEO. No, sorry, 3 alpha males. No, sorry, 3 predators walk into a bar, but there is no joke. They're not looking for a punchline. They're looking for a kill. So they attack. In a flurry of punches, a stampede of kicks, it's a wham-bam barrage of rams, it's an all-in barnyard brawl, it's an all-in swinging dick measuring contest. It's teeth, gnash, claw, gorge, horn, maul, torn, flesh, tail, whip, locked jaw, puffed chest. It's bigger, is better, it's gun, it's bazooka, it's rocket ship, it's war. 3 men walk into a bar and I am the joke. Because I hide under a table. I'm afraid I can't compete in this violent jungle. I do not fight. I am not weaponized. I don't have antlers or tusks or horns. You see, my fists evolved to be glittery starfish. My wriggle worm digits are crafted for art and tenderness. So I don't fight. I don't bravado in black and blue. I don't brag about my belligerence. No, I'm a poet. I'm a student. I'm a nurse. I observe. And I have witnessed. The bird of paradise. And I recognize my feather, my plumage, my extravagance, and any ornithologist will tell you birds don't compete with weaponization. Birds compete with ornamentation. And I am toucan, beak, I am peacock, frill, I am a fucking rainbow. I am flare. I am hair, flick, I am song, lyric, I am psychotic, salty, I am flutter, I am shimmy, and I am spin, I am a disco ball. 3 men walk into a bar. 3 men tittle, tattle, taunt. 3 men threaten me with their thirsty insecurity. 3 men brandish fists and teeth. 3 men laugh like it's only a joke. But I don't bite. You men can fight each other. I will fly above. I will evolve. This is not a joke.